and welcome back to this channel, or welcome for the very first time. So my name's Julia. On this channel I like to do pick a card readings and other types of tarot videos, and I am a huge astrology enthusiast, and I like to combine my knowledge and interest in both fields to provide you the most accurate reading possible. So today we will start off with putting a little bit of incense on the stove, why I introduced to you already the idea behind today's reading. So today I want to approach things slightly differently and focus a little bit more on some guidance or advice in that sense, how you can express yourself a little bit more and a little bit better. So not that this reading is going to be only about that, but in the past weeks, a lot of cards have come out throughout all the groups, which are very much aiming towards self-expression, expressing your truth, your thoughts. So I figure that a lot of you guys might be dealing with that. And another topic which very often came up was working with boundaries and reevaluating them. And those were global topics. They just had kind of a different perspective and a different twist to them. Let me just take off my watch. Forgot to do that before. So yes, so I kind of want to include this aspect in our weekly reading for the upcoming 7 days. So while I still keep cleaning the space here a little bit, you can already jump into the group selection. So meditate on your crystals and see you in your reading. So welcome to our group selection. So first, let's go through the groups, and I'm going to introduce each stone to you. So here we have group number 1. Then group number 2 with a carnelian, which is wrapped in wire and made into a pendant. Here we have a moonstone, and last but not least, here we have a citrine. So now let's plant our feet on the ground, our palms on our upper thighs. Close your eyes and take 3 deep conscious breaths. Breathe in. Feel how your belly is expanding, and breathe out. Feel how it's going back again. Breathe in and breathe out. For one last time, breathe in and breathe out. So exhale, and now you can ask yourself either out loud or in your mind, what are my 7 days going to look like? My next 7 days. What is going to happen then? How is my week going to look like? What do I need to know for the next week? You can phrase an open question to your liking, but it's just important that it is open and about the next week. And while asking yourself how your week is going to look like, let your gaze wander over the crystals and listen to your gut feeling, not so much to your eye, which might be drawn to one of them, but more to your gut feeling, which is driving you to one of those crystals. And you can pause the video if you need to meditate a little bit longer on your groups, but as soon as you are ready, scroll down to the description box and find the according timestamp there, and see you in your reading. So group number 1, welcome to your reading. If you chose this beautiful stone here, then this is going to be your reading. And let me put some fresh incense on the little stuff here. Very good. So let's first start out by mapping out your upcoming 7 days, the initial aspects for that with the Druid Tarot deck. I feel like using that for you. Also the stone you have there. I forgot to look up the name in English actually. So the properties, though, I can describe those to you quite well in English. So the properties are, first off, quite protective, but also having a positive and protective impact in relationships. So in close relationships that are meaningful to you, for instance. And overall, a stone that is quite beneficial if you are seeking emotional balance and protection. Like, also, hyperstein is also one of those stones, but that's not one. That's not a hyperstein. So hyperstein is also a stone of those, and you know those dark stones which kind of have these speckles here, these shiny speckles. Also tiger's eye, for instance, also a very strong protective stone. So these dark solid stones with these speckles of light and that shimmer in there, they all kind of come from that very protective kind of family there, property-wise. So interesting to see. And you have the Lovers in reverse, the Queen of Cups, and Six of Cups reversed. So group number one, what I definitely see for you is that for you, emotional topics are currently quite much on the table. And it might be about a certain relationship, but I don't see that there's so much to be fair. Group number one, I just see that at the moment somehow you are having a challenging time in some sense to you have the Knight of Wands here, you have the Priestess in reverse, so whatever group number one is keeping you so restless or unbalanced emotionally in some certain sense for you, whatever that is, you are going to make some progress in there. I'd say as soon as you realize that your action is necessary there. I don't know yet what exactly that is. And we will not be able to tell precisely in every detail because this is a general reading, but sometimes they come out scaringly detailed and accurate. So many reversals. What is going on with your group number one? So we have Judgment, we have Ace of Pentacles, we have Ace of Cups. So a very major energy here, that, and as bottom of the deck, Eight of Swords, but reversed. So I feel like for you, group number one, it has to do with either a relationship or some experience on the emotional level of things in the past, which has, in some sense, made you lose faith in a certain depth of things and connection possible, and you are making your progress out of it, but it is, group number one, I see it is quite challenging for you, and it kind of resonates with the crystals, and it is now a little bit crazy, but even when I was setting up the entire thing for the video, I was very much having this feeling that I should use crystals today again for the groups. And when picking out the crystals, I sometimes have this thing that, I need to meditate. I have a box with all of them and I need to meditate over them and then kind of pick the ones that I feel are resonating with today's reading. And This time I was very instantly drawn to be honest, to all of them. It was like this. I instantly kind of knew it. It is crazy because this stone and knowing the energy behind that stone, it resonates very well with the reading. So I feel group number one, like you, are trying to now come to terms with a lot of questions which are there regarding balance, because also with the Six of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, they are reversed, and this is why I get this feeling that this is so challenging for you. But this is something that you need to go through and you need to master, or you even want to do that. You want to do that. But for instance, here, what comes challenging for you at the moment is taking action and getting that type of maybe even aggressive energy that maybe is required to push through with some of your boundaries or requirements or desires. And the priestess reversed, it is here in this spread for you in a position which is actually showing up as a benefit. So it's interesting to see, because the only card that in this row is upright is the Queen of Cups. So it seems like finding that ground where emotion and the materialization of an emotion meets. So where basically emotion and our reaction or behavior meets. That is something that actually comes quite well to you in the upcoming days. I see that for you. That is something where you can make real progress and where you can definitely make a huge step forward in a matter that has been bugging you most likely for quite some time. Because with the Six of Cups, the Six of Cups speaks of a feeling of homecoming, but also of the past, and that is something that doesn't come easy to you. Either feeling at home with someone or somewhere isn't a thing that you might experience often, group number one. And also on the other hand, letting go of past experiences, past memories, past people might not be easy at all for you. So I see, I don't know why I get this particularly now, but I get being on your mind. Like it looks like for some of you, somebody is being on your mind very frequently, but not in a way that they are there every day or you text every day. They just keep appearing in your mind now and again, and quite constantly. And maybe recently it has become more. And I see that being, but here, you know, the Eight of Swords, it is about small improvements, small steps. Sometimes even you don't see the direction even, and sometimes it's very small steps and trusting your intuition and really mapping out the next step after you have made the one before. So not much planning ahead, but very much trusting your guidance and deciding step by step where to go. And I feel this is where you, group number one, can make huge progress within the upcoming 7 to 10 days, I'd say. And with the aces reversed, this one comes up in a beneficial position. Let me clarify the Ace of Pentacles, please. Yeah, that is that's not a clear one. That is okay. King of Wands reversed talks a lot about, in that sense, somebody who isn't tapping into their responsibility as they should, somebody who also might have, though in this position, I am so confused about your reversals in the beneficial positions, because it looks a lot, also for some of you, group number one, it might be that you are trying to get out of a situation, or maybe even a connection, or a very important connection, like a very contract feely-ish. and you are trying to either transform it or get away from it. And that is something that has been on your mind, as I said, for probably for quite some time. And now, within the next days, I see for a lot of you with whom this resonates, getting some progress and getting some movement forward there. Also, with the Six of Pentacles, it is about balancing out how things, energy, effort, work, all a resource basically, how that is given and how that is received. So the sixes overall in the tarot stand a lot for exactly that middle ground, that balanced point. And I feel for a lot of you, you have been very much restricting yourself to a lot of what I get also is measuring yourself very critically about things, measuring yourself very much on your performance on things. And that also my being, but also connected to the past. I get a lot that this might have been maybe because of another person or for another person. And also I see now with Judgment reversed and the Eight of Swords reversed, it is as if currently very much in the recent past, or even in the longer past for some of you, depends on how long this topic has been following you already, you have been resisting quite much letting this go and entering a new chapter. And for the upcoming 7 to 10 days, you definitely have very much potential for doing that. You have that because you can trust yourself with meeting that ground between your physical and material needs and your emotional needs. It has taken you a lot. And let me just clarify the lovers. The lovers, please clarify. Yeah, the world reversed. I feel like for you, group number one, this is actually about either a person, or for some of you it might be about your work, but not in that sense, not necessarily career, but just in something which you are very passionate about and which has had a huge importance for you throughout your life emotionally. But for most of you, I see it is about a person, a connection with someone that you feel has ended too early, and that hasn't let you go for quite some time, I feel. And I feel this reading is very specific with the energy that it speaks of a lot of denial of feelings and needs and boundaries for yourself, by yourself. On the other hand, the feeling I get is a lot of emotional maturity and resilience in here. So it's interesting. It's still, no matter how mature you might have become throughout this experience and because of other experiences, still, please keep in mind that it is okay even for you to sometimes, even though you might be very used to handling things yourself and very much used to also dealing with your feelings yourself and alone and on your own, it is okay to sometimes also not keep everything to yourself and sometimes look for that exchange. It is all right. On the other hand, it is also perfectly fine to not do that when you don't feel like doing that. Also, pushiness from the outer world on you, that is something that you might have dealt with as well. That the outer world has challenged your personality and your personal boundaries and beliefs a lot. I see for a lot of you that is the case. That you might have felt this feeling of the world just doesn't function necessarily how my emotions or my soul functions at times, or me overall. And you have really, you have done a great job in adjusting to that. You have, but it is about time, I believe, for a lot of you to set things right in a sense there and focus more on yourself actually and getting yourself in a place that is serving you more. So let us now look into what you could focus on, and let's see, let's use the other deck for this. I don't have a blackout on the name, but it's the Ethereal Visions deck. I like this a lot, so let's see, what should group number 1 focus on? What should group number 1 focus on? That was a quick one. So we have the Moon and Justice and the 7 of Wands. So I feel what is sometimes very challenging for you, as I said before already, is that you have learned very well to adapt to things, evaluate things. You're good at analyzing things. You might also be, let me see, you might be a water sign. Interesting. Now here Libra comes up, and we have the Justice card here, we have Mercury and 10th. For some of you, really, the issue in a sense, and I'm not calling this necessarily an issue, just the thing that has overpowered maybe other needs and parts of you in some of your choices, that really was your rational mind. You have done some decisions there very much by rational mind. Also in that situation, somehow I feel like you have sometimes acted out very on the rational side there, where you felt like doing something completely else in that situation. But you ended up doing what seemed rational and correct for you, and that exactly at times has been your handbrake. And maybe even recently you had that a similar situation again, or something reminded you of that, and this is maybe where you understood, okay, I need to take a different approach there, which I congratulate you on, because this is very hard work, and it's a huge success, even if it doesn't feel like that instantly, but it is, and time will show you that definitely. So in the end, I feel for you it would be extremely beneficial to tap more into this matured emotional image and judgment of things you have, and balance that out. It doesn't mean that you discard your rational decisions or mind, not at all. But I also don't get the feeling that you are that all or nothing person here. I think you just have, in the past, out of different reasons, which might be very individual for each of you watching this video, I feel a lot of you have just very much given the rational mind here, and also the need or the desire to be fair, to be fair and do justice to everyone and in every situation. Like you have been giving into this a lot, and by that you have maybe sacrificed some of your needs, which you are regaining though. You are doing that, and you will in the end be successful with that, I can tell you that. So yeah, and here back of the deck we have the star in reverse here. Though I don't remember how I put the deck down. I somehow feel that it should be upright. Because I feel for you it's very much that energy of embracing what your hopes and wishes and desires actually are. And it's interesting, I'm now looking at the Queen of Cups, and she's looking at the cup, and the moon is kind of, rising there and standing there above the cup, and the star, she's in this deck actually looking into the water. It is, and here we have the moon. It is very interesting because this is basically again a depiction of, looking up into the skies, looking up into the outer world, and also for your visions and hopes and your inner desires and your inner world, and still finding that ground with the world and not losing connection. So let us now pick a card for you on how you can express yourself more and better. though I feel that some of you might be quite gifted in that field actually. But that's like for particular people amongst you. I don't sense that for everyone, but some of you actually are. So let's see. And I will use the Rider-Waite deck for this. So how can group number 1 express themselves? How can group number 1 express their needs best? So we have the 7 of Wands again. So, you know, it is okay to be passionate about what is important to you. It is. And it is also nothing wrong there with sometimes defending what you believe is right and what you believe is fair. The star is also Aquarius energy, by the way, and that has a lot to do with you know, human rights, defending what is serving the collective and what is right for the collective. And I don't know why I now even mentioned the human rights factor above all. Maybe for some of you that is actually something that will resonate. So, and here we have the Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, I think for you it is really important to get out of your headspace, group number 1, and from your habit maybe even to not share your perspective on things and sacrificing some of your principles and beliefs for the good of being fair and being like not doing wrong anyone, never. It doesn't mean that you consciously now need to go and, let's say, I don't know, be inappropriate to people, of course not, but definitely dare to show more of your character and your beliefs in things. And if you feel that somebody is, you know, stepping over somebody else's boundaries or your boundaries, or just promoting beliefs that are maybe even toxic or theories that are just not true, are just not right, also in the face of the current situation, maybe speak up and trust that you actually have the resource and knowledge to really analyze things. And sometimes getting a little bit more passionate in your way of defending or communicating things doesn't mean that you need to go for strong language, etc. I feel you are carrying the skill within you to express these things in a very mature way, which still though lets people sitting with the feeling that, you know, the message has come across, and they might even rethink what they said or did. So now let's get to the final point, and this week I feel again very much like using the musician cards actually. So let's see what music you could listen to maybe get some additional insights and messages. Group number 1, who can they listen to? Or just, you know, which music you could listen to that would support a vibe that is beneficial for you during the upcoming 7 days. What should group number 1 listen to the next 7 days? Which artist is the one for group number 1? I guess means silent radio for you. Let's see. Okay. That was now just a bad one. What I also get is like somewhat restless energy. Oh. Kendrick Lamar. So interesting, and so matching with like the 7 of Wands energy and also with the Knight of Wands. So Kendrick's messages are be the cure, not the symptom, and don't ask for respect, but order it. In that sense, that you order people to respect you, not ask them. And you can be broke without breaking because of that. Yeah, I also see what I meant with before with sacrificing some of your principles to be fair to everyone. The other side for some of you might actually be that you're doing that for material reasons or for material purpose, let's say. So for a job, for work, and that might be something like, you know, compromising your individual style and dressing up very corporately while you might not be that person. That it might be like that, but it also might be like you are maybe working for an employer, which is in some sense maybe going even against your principles and beliefs. For instance, for a company that is producing something or providing services that you personally find questionable, but you're still working for them. So for some of you, that might be also the case. So I still want to, I want to pull a final card for you, how you could take care for yourself. Because group number one, I feel for you things at the moment are so messy in some sense, and you know best why, but they are not stable, and it's some uprooting there, but it's very internalized. It's very internalized, and I get that energy that it's so much blocked by your headspace and also by your rational side of things. So how can group number one care for themselves during the upcoming 7 days? Oh, go out to the forest and take a deep breath first. So, feel like pulling another one? Okay, then not. So, not getting another one for you here. But I feel like being out in nature, and I'm now looking again to the Queen of Cups in this deck because she's very much surrounded by a lot of green, by these hills there. And overall, also with the aces in this deck, you have also with the Ace of Cups, a lot of greenery here. And I feel like you, group number one, are people who can calm down very well. Most of you, at least I believe, can calm down very well and ground themselves a lot emotionally when being out in nature. So this is also where, for some of you, this is where you can connect best with your spirit guides, and just overall, where you can kind of detach from that rational headspace that sometimes is, suppressing and maybe suffocating that an emotional side that is also very intelligent, very mature. And I even now I get like these stutterings and sometimes mismatching words and stuff. I feel like you really kind of need to strengthen that bridge between both. And I feel like being in nature could be very supportive of you. And also, if you have considered tapping into meditation or also awareness exercises, focus on your breath definitely. That is something that I feel would also help you a lot, because this is breath, and somehow also I was now thinking of the swords you have there. It is good to have them here. Like, it is good to have breath here and the nature aspect. I feel like that for some of you is very much on point, and supporting maybe something that you already do, but definitely stick to it, and it's good for you, very beneficial. So, group number one, thank you so much for tuning into this reading. That's all I have for you, and wishing you all the best for the upcoming week, and see you in the next video. Bye! So hello, group number two, and welcome to your reading. So if you chose this carnelian here, then this is going to be your reading. And let's start by mapping out the initial events for you in the upcoming 7 days, or the initial aspects. So we have the Ace of Wands here. Okay. So let me sit on those three already for a little bit. The first group was, in some sense, a quite messy situation somehow, and I get the feeling that this is a theme for you guys as well. And I just get you are. Somehow I get the feeling that you are suppressing a lot of your potential by being ashamed of um, basically ending up shame for it, falling from grace because of that. And you are extremely resilient, but still you are so hesitant with proceeding and with action and with taking on those things that you have thought about, that you have the ideas that you already have that you want to turn into projects. You somehow you refuse to do that because you are still very much afraid of the risk of failure. So that's kind of, at least for some of you, the story that I get here. And yeah, I just don't want to sugarcoat things here. But it is also just, it's a reflection of things, how they are maybe at the moment, or maybe they have been in the recent past like that for you. But it's all still up for change. So it's never put in stone, it's never set in stone what we see here. So I feel, yeah, that is something you're struggling with a lot. Self-expression. It's so interesting that I felt like taking this into this reading today, because I feel this is a very global thing. All of us are trying to reevaluate how we communicate, what are our boundaries, what is important to us, especially the current situation that has now been lasting for a few months, and by soon it will be lasting for years. I believe it has all of us put into a place where sooner or later we are maybe rethinking some things, some actions, some values, some plans, ideas we have for life, for us, for the people around us as well. So I feel like that is either way a very global topic, but for you it particularly has a lot to do with the drive to express things. And maybe for some of you it also is because in the past you actually have maybe been too, speeding too much forward and being too fast and not thinking things through to the end, and that has stood in your way of actually, maybe even to this day, realizing the full potential you have. And then in the end it ends up being like you not thinking through something, then doing it, then failing at it, and then in the result questioning your skills and your entire worldview at times. So it might be some act of self-sabotage in some sense. So yeah, I feel so much block here, so much block. But still I see you are also getting over that. But yeah, Ace of Cups reversed. Yeah, we have the Ten of Swords reversed. Here we have the Ten of Wands. Yeah. I really get the feeling, group number 2, that some of you have just also biting off more than you can chew, really. And not with the intention that necessarily you think you need to prove something by that, but you were just intending to really get that done. But it ended up being something that was like, it is still like keeping you away from kind of making the same mistake again, but by that you are really limiting yourself down to something that just isn't enough for your life and for yourself. Like you yourself, how you are at the current moment, don't seem to be fulfilling what you actually ask of yourself in your life. It's very interesting. Bottom of the deck is the devil reversed. So the devil talks about addictions, karmic stuff, but basically being trapped in something where you are the one deciding to escape there. You could if you would. So, but on the other hand, there's a reason why it's so hard for you to do that, even though in theory and if you boil it down to just the simple things, it seems easy, but it really isn't. What is making it hard for you? What is making it hard for you? Group number 2, what is making it hard for them? So, Page of Pentacles. Yeah, really. Education in some sense. I get this aspect a lot. It is like you are very much, you have the motivation, you have the enthusiasm, you also have the resource, you have the knowledge, you have the grit even, but somehow in the end you're missing that component that is bringing things to a satisfying end for you. And this ends up being a cycle where in the end you are questioning your skills and abilities, not because they are bad, but because they are just being handled in not the optimal way. And the pages are a lot about like harnessing the element, getting to know it and to work with it. Some of you might have a wasteful tendency when it comes to money. Don't see it for every one of you, but for some of you, it might be true. It might be. Even though the page here is upright, I get that, but still, we have some things here which are we're overall wasteful with resource. As I said, like this thing with biting off more than you can chew, it's also maybe sometimes a little bit like the flip side of that coin, putting in more than necessary. That also might be a topic for you. So let's focus on, or let's see what you could focus on that way. Sorry. So let's see. Oh my god, I'm hearing some birds outside. And it's like late in the evening, it's a little bit creepy, but it's alright, I guess. And Ten of Cups reversed, and we have a lot of tens here for you. And yeah, and then we have the Devil reversed, which is Capricorn. Yeah, please clarify the Ten of Wands for me. Okay, so I see some of you might be really creative people, people who also have a career, or the things that you are doing and the projects you are doing, they are also not easy ones to harness and to get right from the first try. Like, don't worry about things not working out on the initial try. Don't get so discouraged and so devastated by that. Because definitely I see good news coming in for you here. They are. And yeah, and balancing things out, balancing out your home life, your work life, like your creative life, I'd even say. we have the Sun, and we have the Knight of Cups reversed. So and bottom of the deck is the Fool reversed. So yeah, you're holding back from those new beginnings. Maybe also because I feel some of you are also undying optimists in some sense. You are. And in the end, you get up from these downfalls and those situations. You do. And that is, I feel, one of your biggest resources. But still, don't overstrain it. And what can... Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. So... Group number 2. 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah. Group number 2, I feel like in this clarifier was, in some sense, hesitant. It came out very late. Which is surprisingly accurate for the energy that you have here with Knight of Pentacles, even though he's reversed still. And to be fair, in this spread, I'd even say, it's even emphasizing that even more. Take your time to map out things, and also sometimes letting things happen and take their way, and waiting until something actually comes to you. Not taking action instantly, always. That is something that does come hard to you. It does. You really have a hard time to sit still. You do. A lot of you. I sense like the entire group too, to be fair. I feel like all of you are very much of the nature which is, very, very fiery, very driven, and very sharp-minded, a very quick mind. I see a very, very quick minds with you. So still, it is sometimes the right decision not to act on stuff and just let others do their first move. What actually, honestly, first off, I want to compliment you on that, because like on having that trait of pushing things first, making the first move, because that in fact doesn't come easy to a lot of people, but sometimes it is good to hold that back. So I feel for you, group number 2, it is about balancing those things out a little bit. But overall, I mean, things are happening for you. Things are happening for you, and maybe, it's not always on you. It's not always your responsibility to initiate. So let's see how you can express yourself best. And I'm going to use the Druid Tarot for that. So how can group number 2 express themselves? Yeah. Let's see. Okay, we have a flip bar here. We have again the Devil in reverse. Okay, and these all reversed. Interesting. So 2 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, don't let your resource go to waste. Don't let your resource go to waste by following that cycle of... Also, I sense for some of you it might be distraction, indecisiveness on where to focus your mind and focus your drive. So for some of you it might be very scattered fields of interest, a lot of stuff going on at the same time. Like with group number 1, with you guys, I get the feeling that my head is about to burst, but with group number 1 it was very internalized. For you, I get it is a lot also about interaction with the outer world, really putting that energy out there, while the first group was very much about having that in their headspace. But I feel for you, it is something that you also act out on. And on one hand, that somehow releases some of the steam and the tension, but on the other hand, it really comes with actions and consequences. So for some of you, that might have caused situations that are, hence the first part of the reading where I talked about that cycle that is created then. But now let's see what artists or music could be beneficial for you to listen to and keep your vibes in a good place. So we have Hildegard von Bingen for you. So interesting. Some medieval classic here. So be like a feather in the wind of God. Find wisdom in studying the unknown, and the soul is not in the body is in the soul. So a lot about not seeing the body or material things as the initial root of things, but more that actually the soul is the entity that comes first. So I feel for a lot of you, this is what you actually are doing, and this is what you are passionate about for a lot of you. But I also feel that here, with this being a feather in the winds of God, I feel it talks a lot about this tandem here with the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Wands. Not carrying the load always alone, and first, like, not taking that load even, but first looking out for a message, looking out for signs from the outer world and from other participants in the story or the situation. So let's now finish with our usual how to care for yourself card. But overall, a very interesting reading, group number 2. And don't worry too much about that thing. Just really give yourself a little bit more slack. And on the other hand, yes, force yourself sometimes to sit still for a second. Count to 10. Count to 10 with the 10 of Wands. So, and yeah, the 10 of Swords. Count to 10, really. Breathe in, breathe out, and then decide. So how can group number 2 care for themselves this week? Strength. So, lightning. Feel for some of you, it is really that you enjoy that type of weather, which I always feel with that card, to be fair. That comes out when people are really into this type of energy. And it speaks a lot about, harnessing that energy that lives within you. It resonates very well with the rest of the reading. It is that you need to learn and you need to embrace how to get all this wonderful potential you have, all those great ideas that you have, to get them channeled into this one blast that is maybe even be transforming for your entire life. And it's also, what I just got is that feeling when you get something done right for the first time, when you started learning it, and then you have the first experience where you nail that, like nail that exercise or nail that dance move or nail that riff on the guitar or something. That feeling is something that I feel is strongly associated with this energy. And you will experience that, definitely. And I feel like next week, the upcoming week, you might maybe receive news and learn something regarding that. Or something will happen that will kickstart this evolution for you. So group number 2, that's all I have for you. And wishing you all the best for the upcoming week, and see you in the next video. Bye! So hello group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So if you chose the moonstone there, then this is going to be a reading, and let's first start by putting some fresh incense on my burner here. So, especially during winter, I love burning all kinds of herbs there and burning them also directly on this burner, not coal for instance. I just feel that The scent that develops there is different and I like it more. And it's also less of a mess, to be fair, than with the pieces of coal. So, great. So, let's now jump into your reading by first mapping out your initial events for the upcoming 7 days, or initial, essential aspects, let's say. And because it's not only about events, right? Also about thoughts and people happening, entering your life, doing things there. So I feel like using the deck with the golden embellishments here. And again, I forgot the name of it. Oh my god. The Illuminated Tarot, yeah. So Ethereal Visions, yeah, that's the name of the deck. My god, today I feel very, don't know, all over the place in some sense, and I have felt like that with both previous groups too. And I am well rested, I have eaten, like it's not about that. I feel it really has maybe something to do with the global energy of the upcoming week, maybe. I feel like either way, the upcoming week is going to be, I think, quite hectic, I feel, for a lot of people. I don't know why, but I just get this feeling constantly throughout the first two readings, and this is continuing right now. So let's get into your initial things here. But the Ten of Cups, a very, very beautiful card in this deck. So, okay, we have Judgment reversed. And a Four of Pentacles. So I think you, being a person whose mind is not that easy to change, actually is paying off very, very much in the situation that you're currently in. And still though, focusing on one particular goal will be the deal breaker for you, I feel, in the next week. Let's see what the other three cards have in store here. Okay, I think this came out here actually. Came out first, because they both came out together, but these two, but this one hit the ground last, so. Six of Pentacles, and again, so many reversals exactly here. Another group also had all reversals, I believe, or two reversals and one upright in the blessings or benefits row, basically. And it's very interesting. Bottom of the deck is Queen of Wands reversed, so yeah, I feel that you actually, in fact, are having like that all over the place energy. It might really be yours, to be fair. Because with you, I see somebody who is definitely capable of carrying a lot of responsibility. You are, but recently something has made you to look for shortcuts there. I'm going to be very frank about that, because I feel that either that has become too much for you, or it just feels overwhelming, overbearing, because which is understandable. In the past months, a lot of things have shifted out of the usual habits or proportions that we have in our lives, and that has been challenging for a lot of people, regardless of their experience, age, social status, etc. Of course, some can deal with particular parts of this better, others can worse because of different conditions. But I feel for you, something has. Oh, let's clarify the kind of cups. Okay, we have one there. So, have the Nine of Cups here. Yeah, being satisfied with what you actually have and finding your fulfillment there has, for whatever reason, and it's a general reading, we cannot tap into every individual detail in your story, but for some reason, and you know best why, or you know best how that feeling feels for you and what you think in that moment when you experience it. It has become hard for you to be satisfied and fulfilled with the things that are at this moment making up your life and being your life. And it is as if you actually wanted this and you worked towards this. You did. But it just didn't turn out to be what maybe you exactly pictured it to be like. That might be one option, or something else has happened, different reasons why it makes it difficult for you to find fulfillment in what you actually have in your current life, which honestly I'm seeing it not being like very, uncomfortable, or very, at least for the majority of you, or very affected even by the current events. I feel like you are in a quite stable and blessed place, the most of you, and if not in all areas of life, in the emotional one, most likely, 99%, or let's say in the relationship life, and also in emotional sense. Up to very recent past, you did feel very satisfied with those things. And what caused it for group number 3? What caused this for group number 3? What caused this for group number 3? Okay. Yeah, as I imagined, we have the Star and the Hierophant here, the Hierophant reversed. So your perspectives and expectations, and also your perception of the world, your vision of it, doesn't necessarily align with what maybe isn't even expected of you, but what, according to experience and to certain standards and also even rules, is supposed to be right, or supposed to be fulfilling, or supposed to be the right thing to have or to do, and that just doesn't really resonate with what you imagine things to be, or to grow into, or to feel like. Also, just to feel like, it doesn't feel like what you imagined it would feel like. So that is giving you some hard time, and you still, though, you are not a person who's giving up on these things so easily. You are not. And you holding back in there and not straightly jumping into it, why is that? Why is that a benefit? Why is that? Why is that a benefit? Okay. I have the Knight of Wands. I just wanted to see why that is actually in the blessings position. And it is because you might have the tendency, and that's so interesting, it feels like a continuation of another reading, though the cards are different. They are different, and it's like a very similar story, just with different details and put in different words, but basically having a very similar core. You might have the tendency to overreact, to be a good pusher and a good initiator and a good provider of ideas, and you might have very you know, a lot of drive, a lot of enthusiasm, very, very sharp mind, a lot of creativity and creative potential. Um, but you might have the tendency not to think things through until the end. That might be a thing. And on the other hand, in comparison to the other group, you definitely have a much higher level of maturity in that sense, that you know what those things that you sometimes want to ditch are worth. You definitely know the worth of them, and you remember what kind of work you put into that. So in the end, practicing that might be something. I'm not saying this is the, like, holding on to what you have is now like the right decision to make. You know yourself what this decision feels right to you. We are all free people with free will. This is very important to remember, I believe, especially during these readings. But I feel exploring that feeling and maybe also asking, like entering a dialogue with yourself. Why am I holding on to this? Why am I hesitating to letting it transform? Why am I afraid of that? Or why am I maybe even actively hindering that a little bit? Why am I trying to find some shortcuts there? Why am I trying to find another way how to utilize my skills, even though the one before did work out perfectly, but it kind of didn't give me the feeling that I expected it to give. Exploring those feelings in dialogues with you, I think that can be very, very beneficial to you and provide you with a lot more of understanding what exactly here, with these expectations and reality kind of meeting each other, how that actually even maybe does have similarities, or where things are completely different, and for what reason, and how much of that is changeable and how much is not. I feel these things are for you a quite important thing to find out before you move on with whatever the situation is depicting. So let's see, group number 3, what you can focus on, what would be beneficial for you to focus on. And for you, I feel like doing some shadow work inspiration here. So we will get the Dark Mirror cards. And let's see. Group number 3 focus. Should group number 3 focus on? Should group number 3 focus on? Okay. Fated to suffer. Yeah, that resonates so well with what I just said before this. Let me read the text for this, because it is very well put. And so, feeling confined into a script forced by other and never really fought, heading toward a destination of pain. If you know the future, you forsake your choices. Only with no fate, life is free to unfold into unknown shores. So once upon a time, we believed in fairy tales. They were the voice of common sense, the educational tool which prepared us to duty, danger, and morals. Some things we would never accept if they were told by a single voice. So the world arranges us to hear them with 1,000 voices, 1,000,000 voices. It's about what you can do and what you can't do, what you are worth, what can you aspire to. It's about what you like, what you want, what you hold dear. It creates a script which becomes as strong as all the voices that believe that script combined, so much that you cannot see another path. Talks so much about this, and these cards too. Are you truly seeing Snow White in the card? Is this story truly the only one that this image can tell? So, just for clarification, you have basically this old woman here reaching her the apple, and when you look at it, I believe for a lot of people the initial thought is the Snow White scenery, actually, like her and the witch and the poisoned apple. So Is this story truly the only one that this image can tell? What if the apple is not poisoned? What if the witch is not evil? Is that the same at what you look in your life? Is it truly what you think it is? Are there not any other options? Is the opinion of others honestly better than ours, even if they are many and we are only one? Are you fated to suffer? It is not that there is no suffering in the world. The point is that there is no fate. So yeah, group number 3, I feel for you that dialogue work and figuring these things out for yourself, I feel this is a very strong message arguing for that. So let me just pull another card. Though honestly, I feel this one is enough. This one is enough, and this one had a very, very clear message. So let's wrap this up with some music recommendations for you. This week I feel again like using these cards for you. And sometimes through some songs, lyrics, getting played, hearing them at just the perfect time, that sometimes can be an inspiration or give you the spark or the idea that you were looking for. Music is quite powerful. Those of you who know me in person know that I swear by this a lot. And what musician can group number 3 listen to during the upcoming week for some more clarity and messages? Marvin Gaye. So very cool. Resonates so much with this. So don't mess with something that you value. There is madness in love, but also clarity, like sanity and mind, like the sanity in the there is some sanity in insanity. Yeah, that's what it is. So there is insanity, madness, and love, but there also is sanity in insanity. So you need only a selfless heart to get around and be okay. So it's interesting. It's interesting how much this sums up these things, I feel. And very interesting energy. And now let's finalize your reading by asking how you can best take care of yourself during the next 7 days. So group number 3. How can they take care of themselves? So, morning dawn, new beginning. Yeah. And also talks a lot about perspective again. Perspective and noticing the details, because even in this image you can see it basically depicts how the sun is breaking through the clouds and the beams of light are just, scattering little reflections on the river's surface here and lighting these mountains and the forests on them. So noticing how things can look entirely different in a different light. I feel that is something, again, resonating very well with this card, I feel. So very interesting reading, group number 3. And also with the Moonstone, we have a stone which is very much embodying this fluent nature which is not fixed. And I feel some of you have this very fluent nature in you, and you have tried to harness it by getting it that fixed harness on, by fixating it. And by that, some of you might have dulled their sight for things by doing that a little bit. And dull the sight in that sense of very much shifting only into that one perspective, very much carving out, like shifting from one extreme, being very fluid and very... You might actually, by the way, be fire signs. For some of you, I see you might be fire signs. You might be fire signs, but also have some strong water placements, maybe. Let me just check. So, what overall is the energy here? Yeah, we have fire, Sagittarius, and on the other hand, so we have Sagittarius and Saturn here, and 1. So yeah, with the Magician, we also have a 1 here. Group number 3. It's about time to align your focus, but first find out what you want. Find out what you want, what it is that really you can take away from your past experience. What do you want for your future? What can you take away from your current situation? And you know best in which area of life this applies to, because this one is really, it could be about different things. But it is, as an overarching story, I feel like you are going now exactly through that path of learning, finding out what really is the thing. Maybe even that thing that you are secretly kind of hoping and praying for when looking for those shortcuts. That might be a first clue, but I am sure you will find your way through this. You will. And the upcoming week might be very, very meaningful for you in terms of putting you maybe in a situation where you are required to step out of your usual rut, of your usual perspective there, in that area of life where this applies. So, group number 3, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in into this week's reading. I wish you a blessed and great week, and see you in the next video. Bye! So, group number 4, welcome to your reading. So if you chose this citrine crystal, then this is going to be your reading. Let me just take a sip of water. So, and now I'm just going to put some pieces of laurel leaf here on my little incense burner. So, good. So let's start by mapping out the essential events and aspects for your upcoming 7 days, group number 4. And I feel like using the Rider-Waite deck for you. So let's see what the upcoming week has in stock for you. Okay. We have okay. Focus seems to be such a major topic in the reading for the upcoming week. Finding your focus and aligning that, and somehow you guys, almost I'd say all groups are in some aspect facing a very conflicting situation internally at this moment. I feel for you guys it's also very much internally, but the thing is that it affects quite highly how you act and how your energy levels are at the moment. You might feel very, very drained currently, group number 4. And drained in that sense that, let me see what the other cards are about. So, it's really crazy. These two have also come out for other groups. These two have, and I have shuffled the cards really well, like between the groups I have given them a thorough shuffle, a really thorough shuffle, and cleanse and stuff, because I feel with all groups today it is quite, these are not heavy topics in that sense, but it's just very heavy and blocked energy, I feel, for a lot of the groups. Yeah, the Tower. You might be going through a situation that is really, really draining you, group number 4. Really taking up a lot of resource for you. And you need to really maybe rethink how you how you actually deal with your resource. And I see for you, group number 4, you most likely will receive positive news when it comes to material things, but remember that you are not the only person standing behind that success, group number 4. Do remember that. And even if you say, this was my own project, this was my own thing, my own achievement, you still had people who supported you in there. It might be friends that you met when you were feeling like getting a time out from your work. It might be your spouse, which actually did some more stuff in your home environment, maybe in that time when you were very much taken up with your work. Or if we go that technically far, it might in theory be even somebody who helped you to pick out the correct materials to get your project done and advised you very well there. In the end, even that is something that was very crucial for you to be that successful in that moment. So I see that being a thing, but that is not the main topic of this reading, I'd say. You have the Queen of Cups reversed, you have the Queen of Swords here. But overall, I feel for you. So, okay. Yeah, bottom of the deck is Ten of Pentacles reversed. After that comes the Page of Swords. I think either, it might be both. It might be that you receive some material wealth or that you give it. But something will happen in that area, definitely. There will. And it will be something that I'd say you are not expecting. That might be your Tower moment, but let me see. Yeah, something is about to really shake you up from your stability there, I'd say. But what is the Knight of Wands about? The Knight of Wands with the Five of Pentacles, have the 4 there. I feel group number 4, for some of you, you feel really isolated in some way. And I don't think it's very much that you look like that or that you make the impression like that. But there is something about to happen which will push you into connection and into maybe even relying on other people. It might be. And it doesn't have to be financial. It doesn't have to be financial. But it might be related to your career. It might be related to your work. And I feel that the thing is that it looks like you have been trying to... What is group number 4 try to... Yeah, I'd say this is most definitely about work for you, career for you. And I feel like you have tried to... I feel like you've tried to maybe even be a little bit too quick and too fast in your actions there, whatever that is, there was/is a situation in your career or workplace where I feel you have been quite, pushing forward and quite much also. I just get that some people might be also, you might have been in a leadership position in either a project or teamwork, um, where people most likely in the end didn't, you might not have met the visions that you and others had for this thing. And somehow I get that that resource that actually can help you overcome the situation, and you will know best what this is about. But I just get somehow you also being the one being led and then being disappointed in that leadership that you experience. That also might be. Or you are on the other side and other people have that notion and experience with you. Which doesn't mean that it is the reality and that you did a bad job, but somehow maybe people have seen it not as what they expected actually. So in the end though, I see that you will have that situation where where things will align in a way that you will be relying and co-working a lot more than you are at the moment in some way. But not in the classical, I'd say, teamwork or something way. It's like you will receive some favor or give some favor because you have to, or they need to receive one. And it might be of material role actually. It might be even money. It might be finances. Um, it's kind of, you get two different messages here. For once, this is about some work-related leadership team thing, etc., and about that side of things. And for others, it's really about a monetary aspect here. And I feel like you are either going to give or receive with the Six of Pentacles, the page here having the 10, even though reversed. But I sense that notion of reward here. But it's not going to happen in the way how you expected it, or the conditions of it are not going to be the ones you expected or planned out for it. And kind of the same just with recognition, or just in a work environment. It's kind of the same story, but it could play out in different environments, either in your closer family or friend circle or at work. So I guess that kind of sums up nicely. And let's see how your focus could look like to deal with this situation in a beneficial way for you. So we have the Star, and we have here with co-working, like there might be some team issue actually, because here we have again with the threes, especially in the Rider-Waite deck, you have this collaboration aspect here, with the Three of Pentacles. A lot of work is still to do, but still it's a, as I said, it's several people standing behind that. It's not only one person. And somehow I feel that comes up in my head again and again. It feels like that is a situation for you. So, okay, we have the Nine of Cups. So, yeah, that's the thing. I feel like you also might be people group number 4 who have been dealing quite well with having what you have, and just being fulfilled by it, having your things together, and also on the other hand never feeling the need to let people very far deep into your life. And I feel that is about to change for you. Regardless, I cannot give you the perfect exact circumstances of it. Either way, in a reading that is definitely not possible, but a personal reading could map out some details about maybe what you are about to expect, in which environment is it going to happen, is it going to be more driven by you or by other forces, by other people, by other circumstances, and some more personally tailored advice for you. Like that is in there if it's a personal reading, but this is a general one. So what I see, you are people group number 4, majority of you have not led people very far in their lives, and this will change for you. It will. And also with the star, let me see. So we have Jupiter here, we have 11, and we have Pisces. Yeah. You know, the polishing and caring for your friendships and your human connections overall is something that I feel the next week is going to be very much centered around that for you. And you will have some revelations there, which will be very beneficial for you, group number 4. They will provide you with some skill and some experience and some insight, and just also emotionally, they will, I think, open up an entirely new chapter of things for you, which first might be extremely scary for you and shake you up to the core, but it will bring you so much. It will bring you so much of the positive aspect, and in the end, I feel this is the bottom of the deck. By the way, is the Emperor here. So I really feel like you might be in a leadership position. You might be, or the situation is definitely regarding someone in a leadership position, either you or the other person. So I'm very, very convinced that that scenario that I explained so far, in some way or another, it will resonate with you. And if it doesn't at all, we have 4 groups today, so the correct thing is in there for you, I'm sure. And let's now see what other messages or guidance you could receive by listening to some music, or better to say, which artist you should maybe put on shuffle on some streaming service. And you know, sometimes you might get the exactly fitting chorus line in the best timing. And oh, we have Amy Winehouse for you. So learn to love your heart that has forgotten responsibility. And honeymoon should last a lifelong, and see your scars as your best asset, or your best, your best asset kind of puts it right, or the best about you. So they're very, very interesting, especially also regarding her biography, and seeing now your reading. And I feel like pulling for you some more of those. Let's make it full. Let's make it 3. How cool! You get Freddie Mercury and you get Frank Sinatra as well. And with Freddie you get a dramatic life is better than dramatizing life. Extravagance is the bad stepmother of invention. And there is nothing more precious than frivolity. And this really talks about, first off, in embracing and just enjoying life and getting the most out of it, which I feel has come very short to you for different reasons. I feel like this is a whole other story for every one of you watching this video. But I feel that for most of you, this is something with all these pentacles here in this reading. Dude, I feel like work has been a huge focal point, not to say the least. Like it's something that has commanded your life for a very long time, or that you have led to command your life for a very long time. And then again, also hiding maybe those parts of yourself which didn't feel or seem like worthy to be showcased, you know, because they're not part of the super performing personality that you might also carry within you. It is a part of your personality, hardworking, very dedicated, but in the end, it's not the only part of you. And with Frank Sinatra, we actually have everybody's looking to the man behind the man. Fly to the moon of your choice, and you just get one chance in life, so put your goals high. And that is very interesting because it also plays in a little bit with the star, with hopes, expectations, dreams, visions. But expectations not in that sense, I expect that to be like that and in that way, but hoping for something to happen, more with a hopeful touch. So I feel like you might end up in a situation next week which teaches you exactly that, exactly those things. And put some Freddie on repeat and listen to some Amy when you feel just, mixed kind of all. It's, I'd say in her discography, the very cool thing is that you will find songs that kind of fit every mood, I feel. She's one of those artists which didn't have just one particular niche or mood or atmosphere, but was very, very versatile when it comes to moods and lyrics and just the vibe of music. So the same for Freddie and the same for Sinatra, actually. So maybe exactly that, allowing yourself to enter that experience and that tower moment, which will teach you maybe a little bit more about your emotional side, which we have only with the Queen of Cups. I feel like that is the blessing that you're about to discover. And I was wondering, why do we have so many reversals today in the blessings column, in this part here? And I now start getting the idea that it might be because those are the blessings that need to be unlocked. After all, we are in Capricorn season. Saturn delivers to those who put in the work and put in the effort. So I guess for you the next week is going to be a lot about that. But do remember that what Saturn delivers also lasts. So as hard as the work for that sometimes might be, the sweeter and long-lasting the results usually are. So let's pull a final card for you on how you can take care of yourself best during the upcoming 7 days, group number 4. So how can group number 4 take care for themselves? Self-care. Self-care for group number 4. Self-care for group number 4. Self-care for group number 4. Self-care. Whoops! There we have it. So, yeah, the lotus flower, which is about unfolding and blooming into something, into a brighter and the pure version that you are intended to be. And pure not in the purity sense, even pure is not even the best word for that, I think, but the lotus flower, it emerges from the dirt basically underwater, and then it ends up being this magnificent, beautiful bloom floating on the water, seeming effortlessly. So, and also always aiming towards the light, always growing towards the light, and then blossoming there and unfolding there. So I feel like this is the same thing for you. I think some major transformation is about to happen for you, or is happening already. And then next week, if you are in that moment already, if you recognize that, because we also have full moon, and that is cycles coming to end, but also, very, very watery energy in some sense, and because associated with Cancer, and you have the Queen of Cups reversed there, and she's the Queen of the Cups, so Queen of the Water. I feel like that is something. Having affirmations, maybe writing down affirmations that you repeat to yourself either during meditation or just throughout the day, or really having them somewhere on paper or as your screensaver. I feel that might be helping you a lot. So let me actually check for you. You are one of those groups which I feel how to express yourself might be a topic for you. How can you remember? Okay. Yeah, we end up with the same thing. Regardless what that tower moment is, I also feel some of you are having a hard time with accepting criticism. And remember that that is not undermining in any sense the skill and the authority you have, but criticism is a part of what you are doing. It is also part of communication with people and connecting with people. And to be fair, I know myself that doesn't come easy at all. Like at some points, and especially if you are doing something that is very, very meaningful to you and very close to you and you are very passionate about it, it is very easy to feel hurt in there. But I feel like that is actually what you need to maybe start embracing a little bit more, that bliss and that fulfillment that you are looking for. In fact, you are looking for that meaningful, deep connection, that meaningful, deep work. You are looking for that. And you have so far grinded for that, I think. Really, you've done it all, and you've gone a few miles there for achieving that, and you've even sacrificed, I feel, some of you, quite a few things for that. But in the end, the bliss really lies in that you guys maybe realize that neither do you have the pressure to be perfect at all times, neither do the others. And that might end up, yes, in sometimes being blunt and frank about things. But in the end, that connection that you get out of it, and that intimacy and sincerity you can get with another human, and now not talking that in a sexual sense, that might be extremely rewarding for you. And really, I feel like for you, this is a major time of change, which is going to be extremely beneficial and very healing for you, and help you very much to get in your best potential and your best strength. So, group number 4, that is all I have for you. I hope you have an extremely productive and successful, great week ahead of you. And thank you for tuning in, and see you in the next video. Bye!